The authoritarian approach ultimately really creates distance, and especially in today's day and age, children don't respond to that type of approach anymore. The idea that I told you so, and the idea that I said so and I'm stronger, more powerful than you, it doesn't resonate. And yet at the same time, the permissive approach doesn't either. So we have to take the long view of our parenting. We have to understand that it's not just the corrective behaviors that will get us to a better place tomorrow or today. We want to be thinking about how do we set our children on a path that they are going to embrace for the long term. They're going to embrace the values, the tradition, the way of life that we hold so dear. And so in order to achieve what we're trying to accomplish, which is the very delicate balance between being authoritative and being on the other extreme, of course, very permissive, finding the right level of authority, I'd like to propose we focus on two key areas. One of them is education, and the other one is influence. We have to educate our children, and we have to be an influential presence in their lives. So Rabbi Abraham J. Torsky, when he was young, before he became rabbi and certainly before he became doctor, was a prodigy and was particularly good at the game of chess. And the story goes that in his house at the time, there was a rabbi who was, I guess, visiting a young fellow, staying with the Tversky family, and it was on the day of Rosh Hashanah, on the high holiday, and it's not typically considered to be the appropriate thing to play chess, at least in certain circles, on Rosh Hashanah. So Abraham was convinced by this other rabbi person to play with him anyway, and so he did. Abraham's father later heard about this, and he called him in, and he said, "Did this really happen?" And he said, "Yes," and he expressed his disappointment. But as Abraham was about to get up and leave, he turns to him, and with a twinkle of the eye, he says, "You checkmated him, right?" So we have to ask ourselves, how can we go ahead and achieve a level of influence? And 3 points I'd like to mention. Number 1, to be great listeners and create a safe space for our children. Number 2, to demonstrate love, not a desire for control. And number 3, to personalize our relationship and approach with each of our children.